These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
My name is Matt Esther. I'm the owner here at Tower 56 Distilling, and it is such an honor and privilege for me to be with you guys here tonight. Incredibly encouraged by all that the Boys and Girls Club is doing here in our incredible city, in our county, and around the world. And so very honored to be a part of the night that we have going on tonight, and excited to be working with you guys on making a cocktail. Hopefully you are ready to go. You have all of the things that you need, and you're ready to go wherever you are watching this, ready to make a cocktail. So let me first talk about all the things that you're going to need to make our cocktail tonight. The first one is you're going to need vodka, and hopefully you have Tower 56 vodka. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to cry a little bit inside, but we understand if you couldn't pick up Tower 56 vodka. Let me just tell you real quick about vodka. Typically, when it comes to cocktails and vodka cocktails, the purpose of the vodka is really not to pull out a lot of flavor. Vodka is considered a neutral spirit, which means it is not going to add any flavor to the cocktail that you're going to make. So typically when it comes to vodka cocktails, it's all about the other flavors that are going into that cocktail, which are going to be really pronounced inside of that cocktail. And so if you're doing something with bourbon, you really want that bourbon flavor to come through. With gin, you want that gin flavor to come through. When it comes to vodka, it's not necessarily about the flavor of the vodka. It's much more about the flavor of everything else inside the cocktail. And so that's why tonight we're going to do a vodka cocktail. Specifically, we're going to do a mule, which uses vodka, and we'll talk about some other variations you can do, which is pretty fun. Some other tools that you're going to need is you're going to need a shaker. We have two different types of shakers here. This is a 3-part shaker. It's got a cap, a top to it, and then your shaker part. Typically, when you use one of these and you're shaking, you want to make sure that when you're shaking, you're holding all 3 parts together, because if you shake it like this, the cap can pop off and stuff can go everywhere, or shaking it like this, the top can come off and it will shake and go everywhere. So this is a 3-part shaker. They're pretty cool. You can get these just about anywhere. This is a 2-part shaker. We use these a lot here at Tower 56. It looks a lot like this. If you have one of these, this is probably what we'll be using for our cocktail tonight. You need something to measure with, and that was what we call a jigger. This is a typical jigger that we use at the bar. This one is a 2-ounce jigger with 1 ounce on the other side. Sometimes they come 1.5 ounce and ½ ounce. But either way, if you look inside the jigger, typically it'll tell you what the measuring amount is. So on this one, it's got a 2-ounce line. It's got an 1.5 ounce line. On this side, we have our 1 ounce line, and we have our ½ ounce, and we have our 3/4 ounce line. So something to measure with. You're going to want a cocktail strainer. Not going to be as important in a Moscow Mule, but you really want to keep all the solids from getting into your cocktail. So it's usually good to pour with some sort of a strainer. If you have a 3-part cocktail shaker, typically the strainer is already in there, but it's not a very fine strainer, so it'll let some stuff through. You're going to need a lime if you have a lime, and a knife to cut that lime. And then we're going to need some ginger beer. We here at Tower 56 use Fever Tree ginger beer, but any ginger beer will do. It's good stuff as well. And then you need some sort of simple syrup. For our cocktail tonight, we are using a lavender syrup, but you just need any sort of basic simple syrup. And we need, where is it? I had it sitting here. Lemon juice. There it is. Found it. We need some lemon juice. So we use fresh squeezed lemon juice here. Typically, we just squeeze the lemon in. We add a little bit of water at the end, but it's pretty much pure, just fresh squeezed lemon. And I would tell you that when it comes to cocktail, the fresher, the better. If you use some sort of like a lemonade It's not going to be as good as sort of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So you don't need a million lemons to do this. You could do 1 or 2, squeeze it at home. You're only going to need an ounce per cocktail, so really not a ton. Probably even like 1 lemon per cocktail or half a lemon per cocktail would be fine. So once we have all that, we are ready to get going with our cocktail. So let's start by adding our vodka first. And we're going to do 2 ounces of vodka to start. Once you've got that, the rest is pretty. You want to do 1 and 1. 1 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of lemon juice. So in case I was going too fast for you, again, 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of lemon juice. Then we're going to add our ice. And we're going to give this guy a good shake. So you want to shake it pretty well. Once you've done that, if you're using one of these shakers, by the way you get the shaker apart is you want to hit the side. You don't want to hit it where the biggest opening is. That won't do it. You want to hit the side. It should pop off pretty well. There you go. Then you take your glass. Typically, with the Moscow Mule, you would use a copper mug. We don't have any copper mugs here at Tower 56, and we actually don't use copper mugs for this particular cocktail. So you're welcome to use a glass. The copper mug doesn't add any flavor to the drink. It just helps keep the drink cool. And so it's totally fine. If you want to make this inside of a glass, if you want to put it inside of a coffee mug, if you want to put it in a copper mug, if you want to put it in a thermos and take it to work, all those things are totally fine. So just don't tell your boss. All right, so fill your cup up with glass. We're going to take that strainer and pour it into the glass. And it should leave about a ½ inch of room on top of the glass. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to pour with the Fever Tree or whatever ginger beer that you have. We're going to pour it over the top. And last thing with this cocktail is we are going to add a slice of lime. Now, there's a couple things you could do with the lime. If you want to get some of that lime flavor on the nose and especially on the drink, you could squeeze the lime in there and then drop it in the cocktail. Or, let me fish that out real quick. Or if you wanted to make it look pretty, if you have friends over and you want to give it some nice presentation to it, you can just take the lime, add a little slice in there, put it on the side of the cup, and it makes it look a little bit nicer. So that's a typical Moscow Mule. Here at the Tower 56, we call it the Gigi, and there's a whole story behind that name. Now, I mentioned I was going to give you some ideas of how you could try to change things up a little bit. So this is, again, typical Moscow Mule. You've got your vodka, you got your simple syrup, you have your lemon juice, and you have your ginger beer on top. Now, the cool thing with the Moscow Mule is you can change the flavor profile of this cocktail in a ton of different ways. And so a couple of the ways that we do it here at Tower 56, one is we substitute our vodka for our summer gin, or really any gin for that matter. But our summer gin is really fun. It's super floral. It's got some really cool hibiscus flavors to it, and we found that it pairs really well with kind of the citrusy type cocktail. And so you could always take out the vodka and add something different, like a gin or a summer gin or something that has some cool flavor profiles to it. The other thing you can do is you can try a flavored simple syrup. So in this one, we use lavender simple syrup, which is what we use in our GG currently here at Tower 56. Typical simple syrup, if you're making it at home, is equal parts sugar and equal parts water. And you can add flavor by, what you do is you take those two things, you put it into a sauce pot at home, you heat it up until the sugar dissolves inside of the water, then you put it into a bottle, let it cool down, and you have yourself a simple syrup. Well, if you're doing this at home, you could add any sort of flavoring to that during that process in the saucepan to give it some flavor. So again, this is a lavender simple syrup. You could do a cherry simple syrup. You can do a strawberry simple syrup. You can do a raspberry simple syrup. You could really, the sky's the limit when it comes to different flavors, but it's really pretty fun inside of Moscow Mules. Again, because there's such a basic cocktail, there's a lot of places where you can play with it, make it really good, make it really fun, and it's a great cocktail. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Hopefully the cocktail is good. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a try. Nailed it. And yeah, enjoy the cocktail. Enjoy messing around with Moscow Mules. We hope that you've had a good time tonight. Thank you for being a part of this. We're going to send it back to you.
And good evening. I'm Eric Goodman, co-host of Afternoon Drive with Goodman and Mason on Mile High Sports Radio. Apparently, I'm joining you from the Great Wall of China. My friend Travis, who is running the show tonight, he's the Vice President of Marketing and Engagement, told me he's going to move me all around the world tonight, being a virtual event. And apparently, now I am in Africa. I just got my head eaten by a lion, and now clearly I'm on the beach, which that's why I decided to wear shorts tonight. I don't know if Travis was fully aware of that. With that, I am thrilled to be back with you for the third consecutive year as your MC and auctioneer for the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County. I appreciate learning how to make a Moscow Mule. This is a glass of water, and I'm going to have a Moscow Mule probably about 7 o'clock when this program is over. Well, current times have presented challenges, but you know what? The important work being done by the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County needs to continue. In fact, it is needed more than ever. And we want to honor some of the people who have helped us get here and recognize the impact that the Boys and Girls Clubs continues to make in this region. Before we go any further, I want to encourage you, all of you, to connect to our event link to get registered. Doing so will help make your experience smooth, easy. So grab your phone and go to this link, www.bgcweld.org/Elegant Night. Again, it's www.bgcweld.org/Elegant Night. Once you are registered, you can bid on the live and silent auction items. And when we do the paddle raise, go to the silent auction and look for the category paddle raise. In the meantime, we would like to thank our many event sponsors who never hesitated to stay involved when this event went virtual. You can see them on our auction website, but you know what? We wanted to give them a special shout out. So let's start it off with Apartments at Maddie and Ehrlich Toyota, who are bringing you tonight's event. We would also like to thank Great Western Oil, the Wennis Family Foundation, Bessler Homes, and Comcast for making this virtual event happen. And finally, Hensel Phelps, PDC Energy, Cardinal Group, Envirotech Services, UMB Bank, and the Weld Trust for their continued dedication to Weld youth. What an incredible, and I mean incredible, showing of support from some incredible and generous partners. The 2020 auction has been online for the past week, and it's getting a lot of action with some incredible items. A special thanks to all of the donors of all of the auction items who went above and beyond in supporting our efforts this year. Once again, you can easily access the auction site for the live and silent auction items by going to www.bgcweld.org/Elegant Night. And don't forget, go to silent auction and look for paddle raise when we get to that portion of the program. The silent auction site will be open until midnight tonight. In addition, we have 3 premier live auction items being offered until 7:30 tonight. And here is a taste of some of those great items. Dinner for 2, once a month for a year at either Greeley's own Coyotes or Palominos. An amazing 3-night vacation up to 6 guests in the Hotel del Coronado Beach Village on beautiful Coronado Island, which is off the coast of San Diego. And a great Rockies package on opening day next year, which includes a private pregame reception for 2 that includes a light lunch, 2 infield box seats, and a 1-night stay at the hotel in the brand new McGregor Square, which is being built across the street from Coors Field. With that, the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County story continues to take shape as 2020 has presented us with some unprecedented challenges. Here are some updates from the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County, my friend Terry Adams.
Thanks so much, Eric, and thanks for coming back to help us host the evening. Like you, I would much rather be gathered in the ballroom at the Doubletree Hotel in Greeley, spending time with the Boys and Girls Club family face to face. But current times are dictating a slight shift, so here we are together virtually tonight. On behalf of our entire organization, and most importantly, the 800 plus club members that are impacted by our programming today, please accept my sincere gratitude to those of you tuning in tonight in support of kids in Weld County. Wow, what a year 2020 has been so far for all of us. The COVID-19 pandemic has put challenges and obstacles in front of us, causing us to adapt and pivot almost on a weekly basis. Things look and feel very different in our clubs today. And I can't tell you how proud I am of our entire staff who have been working together to create our new operating model that allows us to continue to serve kids who might need us more now than they ever have. And we're doing it in a way that keeps kids and staff safe. We are constantly asking ourselves if we are meeting today's needs for our club kids and their families. It's obvious to us that the battles our club families faced prior to COVID-19 have only been amplified through this crisis. Many of our members are living in a food desert, dealing with volatile home lives, are coping with language barriers, and are now facing additional food, housing, and economic disruption. Through the COVID-19 crisis, we are finding that at least one parent from our club families has been laid off, adding to the challenges hitting families that were already below the poverty line. And finally, what is the impact of the learning gap created by so much out of school time throughout the spring? We are still getting our arms around this data. We knew right off the bat that we were made for times like this. And thanks to so many that have invested in this organization throughout our 56-year history, we are poised and ready to answer the call and rally to find a way to get it done. And our work is just getting started. We know that our operation is not likely going to be back to normal anytime soon. That is why I feel so strongly that now more than ever, we need to make a commitment to keep the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County viable, financially strong, and active in serving kids. That is why tonight is so very important to us as we seek support to do just that. I mentioned that our team has done an incredible job throughout this journey, and I thought you might like to hear from a few of them to highlight the work they are doing. I'm proud to have you meet Emily, Ruben, and Zach.
Hi, I'm Emily Stanfill, Vice President for Programming and Grant Development, and I'm here with our programming team. We all know that 2020 has been a year unlike any other, but while some organizations and businesses were shutting down, we were starting two projects. Both were handpicked as a way to stand by our mission and serve those who need us most when it mattered.
First, we opened our Paw Clubhouse as a licensed child care facility. Ruben Gonzalez, the director of our Paw Clubhouse, will fill you in on that in a second.
Second, we understood the situation so many of our club families were put in when school shut down. Many kids we knew couldn't access the grab-and-go food options their schools were offering, and several were left with little to do and no supervision. So, once a week, we started delivering materials to their front doors. They're called Be Great boxes, and we delivered them over the course of 15 weeks.
Our team developed curriculum and activities from all 5 core programming areas that could easily be done at home. We set each family up for success by delivering all the materials needed along with instructions. Boxes also contained community resources in both English and in Spanish, and additional programming content from organizations like the Colorado Model Railroad Museum and the High Plains Library District. Also, each week's box included meals and snacks for the whole family provided by our partners at the Weld County Food Bank.
In total, 3,465 Be Great boxes were delivered, and over 81,000 meals were placed on the doorsteps of our members and their families.
This project, along with our licensed childcare operation, has been vital to helping us achieve our mission amidst crisis. Here's Ruben to tell you more about our clubhouses.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ruben, and I am a Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County alumni and clubhouse director for our Jerry Paul unit. While we have several types of locations, including school sites, recreation centers, and standalone facilities, in April, we had to pivot our normal operations to serve a new group of youth that needed us most, the children of essential workers. Traditionally, my clubhouse would see over 115 youth during after-school programming, but it was important to us from the very start of this pandemic to support those who were helping flatten the curve. We obtained a temporary childcare license and did what we did best for the rest of the year. With guidance from the Weld County Health Department, we are proud to say that we also opened all of our sites for a modified 5-week-long summer program. Many health precautions were taken: temperature checks at the door, frequent hand washing upon entry and throughout the day, daily deep cleaning, as well as maintaining small cohorts with assigned staff throughout the day. While the school year is just getting started, we are in constant communication with our local school districts and our families to support them during these trying times. We look forward to the day that we can safely serve the same amount of youth that we used to.
Hi, my name is Zach. I'm the Director of Sports and Recreation for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. I'd like to take a moment and share with you some of the ways our program department is adapting during these ever-changing times. Traditionally, our program specialists would be required to deliver programming for a group of about 20 youth in just one of our 5 core program areas, while members rotated between each specialist throughout the week. Now, however, to keep members contained in small cohorts of less than 10, our program specialists are now expected to be competent in all 5 program areas. This is a big ask of our part-time staff, and they have stepped up in an amazing way and taken it all in stride. Additionally, our program directors have had to adapt their curriculum to accommodate increased distancing and inability to share equipment. For example, instead of having one set of supplies in the middle of a table during art program, we now provide them separately for each member. No more sharing crayons! Educational programs have now put an emphasis on demonstrations rather than hands-on activities that they traditionally did. Our service and leadership programs typically offer an abundance of team-building activities, which naturally included sharing of equipment and working together in close proximity. Beyond eliminating equipment sharing, we have shifted towards more open discussions about the world around them. Lastly, the Sports and Recreation Department has eliminated games that involve sharing of equipment or touching with their hands. For example, we adapted some of our tag games to be played with pool noodles. I'm excited to announce that, despite the challenges presented in 2020, we have seen an increase in program quality due to reduced staff-to-member ratio and the ability to purchase individualized supplies. This would not be possible without the generous support from donors like you. We want to extend our sincerest gratitude for all you do for the youth of Weld County.
And welcome back, and thanks for all the amazing work you do and how important it is to keep the moment going. By the way, if you saw me on the phone, I was talking to Travis on the phone to make sure that we were on course, and we are doing, according to him, a fantastic job. And thanks to everyone for all the work they have done so far for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. As we heard from Terry, we are here tonight for our kids. If you have ever wondered what impact the club experience has had on kids over the years, well, you're not going to wonder for long. It is my pleasure to introduce to you 2-year reigning BGC Weld Youth of the Year. I almost said WBC like boxing. This isn't boxing. Honestly, this is more special. The BGC Weld Youth of the Year, who serves as an incredible ambassador for this organization, talking about a gentleman I met last year, Kevin Landeros. He is a terrific guy. He is our 2020 Youth of the Year, recent graduate from Greeley Central High School, and a current freshman at the University of Northern Colorado.
I'm thankful to be here today to share a few minutes with you and to get to know each other a little bit more. In my 18 years of life, I came to understand one thing. When most people get lemons, they settle and make lemonade. As for me, I want more than just lemonade, and only I have the capacity to make that happen. Hello, my name is Kevin, and I'm a first-year student at UNC, and now a staff at the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County. Before I can answer who I am, we first had to take a trip to the past. My mother migrated to the United States when she was a young woman. Once she arrived, she took every job she could, no matter how unfair or terrible it was, and saved up every penny. Shortly after I was born though, my father abandoned us, and my mother and I became homeless. It took every ounce of my mother's will to find a place to live. And she knew if she didn't find some sort of outlet for me, my future would be in jeopardy. Thus, being my first lesson in making lemons into lemonade. I'm thankful for Brian, my cousin, for forging the path to leadership before me, and Pedro for planting the seeds of being a productive, caring, and responsible citizen. Growing up, I didn't have much support, but the club gave me that support I needed by helping me with my homework, discovering my passions, being the family I never had, and helping me find my initiative. That initiative led me to the path of leadership. One example of this was when I was given the opportunity to be on the National Steering Committee. I was one in 15 teens that was given the opportunity to be on the National Keystone Conference. Now that I graduated high school, I'm starting to realize what matters most to me. Those lemons I mentioned earlier, I realized that we can take what's given to us, focus on it, and leave it better than we found it. I think about this in terms of our environment and how we treat our planet. We are at the point where if we do not ignite change, the next generation might not have a planet to thrive on. I might not be an expert, but I do see our resources becoming scarce and limited. The club has given me the knowledge and skills to convert lemons into lemonade. With that being said, I'm ready to lead this generation into a prosperous future. So just remember, my fellow club kids, never settle for just lemonade. Your clubs have built you up to focus on whatever you want out of those lemons you're given. I want to thank you all for watching tonight. With the world going through this pandemic and everything going virtual, we still have to focus on our dreams and our goals. With that being said, keep achieving greatness and be great.
Weld County has changed. There's a lot more pressure put on the younger kids than it was back then. The suicide rate is high in Weld County. I didn't see that when we were growing up because a lot of these kids are stuck in a certain place that they just can't get out. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to reach out to. They don't know that there is help out there. You know, it's a struggle.
I was really kind of insecure about things because the way my dad kind of made me feel about myself. And then I started like isolating myself from people.
I would usually just sit around. I was shy and I didn't really talk to people.
I was always really shy and kept to myself. There's certain groups of kids in school. There's the cool kids, the weird kids, and the smart Alex. It's like I always want to be one of the cool kids. I used to really care about what people thought about me.
I would kind of be scared to talk to people because I've normally talked to myself most of the time. And at school I only had like one friend or stuff.
I didn't feel confident when I was younger because I didn't have enough people to hang out with or I didn't know that much people.
I was like really scared at school because I was like scared that someone was gonna bully me. So I was really shy to meet people.
There weren't a lot of options around my neighborhood to do. A lot of the kids chose to go run around, get in trouble, whether it had to do with smoking or drinking. Even my siblings, I know a lot of times they ended up in the juvenile system.
When I was first introduced to the Boys and Girls Club, first time I walked in there, I heard basketballs bouncing, kids yelling. You know, I can hear the air hockey tables. Once I got there, my confidence level, it grew a lot because they taught me a lot. It was like home.
Yeah, now that I've been to Boys and Girls Club, I feel like I can actually communicate with people better, and I felt really confident about that.
Because of the Boys and Girls Club, I
have more friends. I get to know people. We have more technology here, and we get to play basketball in the gym and everything.
Since I've been at Boys and Girls Club, I've been my grades have been really good, and I'm a little bit more motivated to do things than I was before. And I've made a lot more friends because the kids here are they just started talking to me. It was pretty cool.
People are different. I didn't realize that's us the Boys and Girls Club, because everyone there was open. They would talk about stuff. Being open and being myself was way better, and made me more friends.
Now I play with lots of kids and stuff, and I have so much confidence because of this Boys and Girls Club. At club, my activity level has gotten higher. I've impacted with friends, shyness, and having fun.
I chose Boys and Girls Club because I knew it was right for me. I knew that's where I wanted to be. It got me to where I am now. I could have been out there making bad decisions like the rest of my friends, but has been the greatest choice that I've ever made.
There's a bunch of field trips like camping, rock climbing, swimming, water park, pottery. There's way more that I can name. My favorite program is probably going with Christina because she does lots of scientific things.
I have opportunities to do my homework at Boys and Girls Club, and then I have dinner, and then I have technology and stuff there to help me with the online programs that I have to do after school.
My favorite thing about Boys and Girls Club is probably the staff, because they're always there for you and they make you happier. I'm in the music program and I'm doing guitar, and I feel like it'd be a good experience because I never played instruments before, and I want to learn how to play instruments.
But I realized that I can do stuff to help people, so I did Torch Club. It makes me feel amazing, I'm doing something in the world, because I want to do something in the world. I don't want to just sit around and watch other people suffer.
Try your hardest, because if you do what's easy now, then you're gonna have a hard life. And if you do what's harder for you now, it's gonna be easier.
I shouldn't be worried about anything because in the future things are gonna get better. I learned at the Boys and Girls Club to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on what everybody else is doing.
Don't care about what other people think or how other people want you to be. Be yourself, because you're an amazing person.
Every donation that's provided to the Boys and Girls Club goes a long way. It goes to education, nutrition, and development. It helps these kids become leaders in our community.
Amazing. Nationally, the Boys and Girls Clubs is celebrating a milestone, 160 years. And in Weld County, the Boys and Girls Clubs has been part of our community since 1964. Right now, we have a chance to help grow our chapter with your generous donations. And we are going to do this as a team. We are Team Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. And I'm going to show you a little bit later on how we can team up, not work as individuals, but work as a team to raise money tonight. Also, we have a huge fundraising advantage with something called the Child Care Tax Credit. I know many of you are. Let me explain it to you. If you donate $5,000 tonight to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County, $1,600 is going to come out of your pocket, depending on your tax bracket. Likewise, if you want to donate $1,000 tonight, $320 comes out of your pocket, and then the $1,000 goes to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. And of course, this depends on your tax bracket. So with that, let's start this off. Who will start us off with $25,000? Now let's use the child care tax credit to see how much you are saving, but how much money the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County are getting. After the child care tax credit, depending on your tax bracket, $8,000 is going to come out of your pocket. $25,000 is going to go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. So if you're planning on donating around $10,000 tonight, we would ask that you donate $25,000. I know it's a lot of money, but you know what? It is a lot of impact. With that, it's okay that we don't have a $25,000 donation, because I know we are going to start rolling right now. Let's go to the $20,000 level. Child care tax credit, $6,400 comes out of your pocket, depending on your tax bracket, and the full $20,000 is going to go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. With that, I want to bring back my friend Terry. Terry, transportation costs are not cheap for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. What can 20 grand do to help with those transportation costs?
Yeah, Eric, I think it's one of the most important things we do, transporting kids from all of our feeder schools immediately after their school day into all of our club locations. I think right now, over 80% of our kids come to club each day on our vehicles. You can imagine the burden that would be for families to interrupt their workday in the middle of the day and facilitate that transition on their own. So thanks to a previous year capital campaign, we own a fleet of buses and vans that help provide this really, really important service. So you asked the question, $20,000, what would that do? Well, $20,000 would actually support the entire transportation experience for both of our standalone club facilities in Greeley for the entire year.
Amelia, who I'm working with on the back end, I know we have a $20,000 donation. So Terry, that is fantastic. We have banked $20,000. Amelia, can you show me who made that donation? And Terry, we are off to an amazing start, aren't we? Yes, we are.
We are.
Amazing start. Yes, we are. I want to thank Nick and Jan Francis. My eyes are not very good. So if you see me lean in, I don't want you to feel like I'm being kind of creepy. And Jan Francis, thank you so much for your $20,000 donation. Now, let's go to the $10,000 level. With the child care tax credit, $3,200 is going to come out of your pocket. The full $10,000 is going to go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. This is how we're going to work together as a team. We have $20,000 in the bank. Let's see if we can take 20 and turn it into 40 at one level. And what I mean by that is we get 4 people to team up at the $10,000 level. We're not asking one person to write a check for $40,000. We're asking for 4 people to team up at the $10,000 level. So who will do that for us? Want to bring in Emily. You saw her a little bit earlier on in the program. And Emily, there are probably a lot of people watching who aren't familiar with the term Be Great boxes, and we're seeing pictures of that right now. What are they? And what can 10 grand do to cover those expenses?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, you heard us talk earlier about the Be Great boxes. And throughout this entire pandemic, our number one priority has been serving our members that have been so long standing for us and finding a way to stay connected to them. So really early on, we all sat down and we put our heads together and we decided that the best way to be able to serve our members was to take the club experience to them. If they couldn't come to us, then we wanted to be able to go to them. So we delivered what we now call the Be Great boxes. And since the pandemic started in March, we have been able to deliver over 3,500 boxes across Weld County. The boxes include everything from program activities from all 5 of our core programming areas, to meals and snacks provided by our awesome partners at the Weld Food Bank, to different sorts of community resources. And this project has been a huge way for us to be able to stay connected to our longstanding members. So a donation at this level would just be able to continue allowing us to be able to do this wonderful service when kids cannot come to us.
That is great. Okay, let's see what we have. Jamie and Sarah Bessler, thank you so much for your $10,000 donation, and also Bob and Leslie Childers for their $10,000 donation. We got two people to team up at the $10,000 level to give us a total of $40,000. We are off to a great start raising money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. Let's go down to the $5,000 level now. And if you were planning on donating roughly around $1,600 tonight, we're going to ask you to donate at the $5,000 level, because at the $1,600 level, okay, or I should say at the $5,000 level, $1,600 is going to come out of your pocket with the child care tax credit, depending on your tax bracket, and the full $5,000 is going to go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. So with that, Terry, I want to bring it back. You know, everyone right now is dealing with this global pandemic. It has changed all of our lives, especially when it comes to being clean. You know, wash your hands for a certain amount of time, wearing your face mask, washing everything down. I can imagine that $5,000 would do a lot of money to help keep the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County clean, not only day by day, but hour by hour.
Yeah, you know what's ironic about our current operation is that we can only serve about half of our capacity due to COVID restrictions, but half capacity at twice the cost. And we're estimating that to be about $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year in extra costs due to the COVID limitations. 10-to-1 staff ratio has increased our staffing expenses, increased in supply costs, as we talked about a little bit earlier, and of course, significant cleaning and sanitization procedures in place to make sure all of our kids and our staff are safe. And all of this comes, unfortunately, with a little bit of added expense.
Okay, so thank you so much, Tara. We have two people who just donated at the $5,000 level. Thank you very much. That is $10,000 more in the bank. We are at $50,000. Want to thank Charlie and Jenny Shoup. And also we have an anonymous donor. Thank you so much for that. So we are at $10,000 for the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County. Thank you so much. Give yourself a huge round of applause. Now let's go down to the $2,500 level. And this is kind of the sweet spot when it comes to the child care tax credit. I have done the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County event in the past. I know a lot of people raise their paddles at the $1,000 level. Well, now is your chance to raise your paddle to make a donation. If you donate $2,500 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County, $800 is going to come out of your pocket after the child care tax credit. So if we get eight people to donate at the $2,500 level, by doing that, that will give us $20,000 more. Emily, $2,500, that is a lot of money, and that would certainly help with the Youth of the Year program, don't you think?
It sure would. Thanks, Eric. Like we heard earlier, we heard from Kevin Landeros. If you have attended an Elegant Night in Black and White before, even if you've attended a Hope Breakfast, you've heard from all kinds of our Youth of the Years from the past. And the journey is quite the process, but it doesn't just end in Weld County. Youth of the Year is actually a national leadership competition, and it's been a long-standing tradition across the country for decades. So in Weld County specifically, each year, teens all across our organization, they self-select to participate, and they prepare essays, speeches. They work all year long to keep their GPA up. They volunteer in the community to work on their resume. And then we host a local competition for all of those kids. And that winner goes on to a state competition and sometimes even a regional and a national competition. So a $2,500 donation would help us support this process by securing speech tutors and getting the kids outfitted for the day of competition and all of the things that are involved in that entire year-long process.
Okay, so we have two people who have donated the $2,500 level. Thank you so much. Susan Faharzadeh, thank you so much. And the Schmitz family, thank you so much for your donation. Now we are at $55,000. thank you so much. We are off to an amazing start, and we are just going to continue to raise more money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. With that, let's go down to the $1,000 level. It'd be great if we can get 10 people to team up at the $1,000 level. That would give us another $10,000 more for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. It would be $320 out of your pocket, depending on your tax bracket. Terry, I can't even imagine the cost of program supplies for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. What can a $1,000 donation do, and what kind of program supplies do you need?
Yeah, we estimate that when it's all said and done, we spend about $1,000 per member on direct operating costs each year, costs that will enhance the overall club experience. And things like athletic equipment, art supplies, science experiments, school supplies, technology and software, and the list goes on and on and on. And as Zach mentioned earlier tonight, we've been experiencing some changes in the fact that we've got to provide independent supplies now to each kid rather than community supplies. And a great example that I respond to a lot is 6 months ago, if we had 10 kids that wanted to shoot hoops in the gym, those 10 kids would be using one basketball. Today, those same 10 kids need 10 basketballs. So obviously we'll be experiencing some increased costs as we've adapted to the current times.
Well, we have somebody in at the $1,000 donation, and that would be Royal and Angela Lovell. Thank you so much for your generous donation. Amelia, if you can do me a favor, if you can go back to the big board for a minute, because I know more bids have come in. I believe, from what I've been telling everybody, we're at roughly $56,000. For some reason, I have a feeling we are probably even more than that. So we are at 40, 55. Let's keep that screen up if we can, please. We were at, the screen keeps moving on me. There we go. We're at 40, 55, 60, $62,000. That's where we are at right now for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County through the $1,000 level. Now let's go down to the $500 level. And with the child care tax credit, only $160 is going to come out of your pocket. If we can get at least 10 people to team up at the $500 level, that'll give us $5,000 more. And Emily, what can $500 do to help fund Kids Cafe? We're seeing pictures of that right now, a bunch of juice boxes and healthy stuff. What kind of things do you serve? Because I'm sure it's a lot of money for the Kids Cafe.
It sure is. What most people don't know is that almost all of our clubhouses, 4 out of our 7 clubhouses, are located in what is known as a food desert. So kids don't have the ability to be able to easily go to the grocery store, and parents certainly don't either. So if they don't have transportation, they can't get to a grocery store, they have to do all of their shopping at a convenience store. So we want to be able to give our kids as much food as possible so that every single day they go home with a full belly. Thankfully, we have an incredible partnership with the Weld Food Bank. And just with those Be Great boxes that we talked about earlier, we were able to give kids over 81,000 meals in the last 6 months. But we certainly have to supplement that. Sometimes we want to be able to do pizza parties. We want to be able to do ice cream socials. And like I said, we definitely want to be able to give all of our kids an afternoon snack. So this is the way to be able to do that with ease. So a donation at this level would be able to allow us to serve all of our kids and make sure that they have a full belly when they go home every day.
Okay, right now, we do not have anybody donating at the $500 level. We hope that you will remember it's $160 out of your pocket with the child care tax credit. Now we're going to go down to the $250 level, and we're going to show you at home how much money we have raised. We're going to show everybody who has donated. A big round of applause for everybody who has chipped in to make the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County bigger and better for 2020 and 2021 and moving forward. So with that, it would be $80 out of your pocket with the child care tax credit. Emily, I remember being a teen and I loved teen nights. I loved hanging out with my friends. I like, just having great conversation, doing a little dancing, playing games. And at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County, you have teen nights. And I'm guessing, well, I know you have them a couple of times a month, but it's costly. And I'm sure a $250 donation would go a long way.
It certainly would, Eric. You know, normally we host teen nights twice a month, historically speaking. And at any of those teen nights, we would serve anywhere from 50 to 100 kids at any one of those teen nights. But because of COVID restrictions, we're only allowed to host teen nights in groups of 10 anymore. So in the past, teen nights were very generalized. We would partner with some other organizations, maybe Boys and Girls Clubs of Larimer County, Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Denver, and be able to have a very general night. So things like dance parties, movie nights. But with this new operation of only having 10 kids in a teen night cohort, we have the really unique ability to be able to cater these new teen nights to serve specific niches of kids and what they want to do. So now we can do things like Minecraft tournaments. We can do intimate little sip and paints like you would at any of those other type of sip and paints. But don't worry, these guys will certainly be drinking soda pop. But did you say that $80 would get us this $250 teen night? Because I know that it costs a whole lot more than just $80 to be able to serve a group of 10 kids. So that would be an amazing gift for us to be able to fund teen nights at just $80 out of your pocket by giving us $250 to be able to do so.
You know what? I'm the auctioneer, and you just convinced me by saying it's $80 out of my child care tax credit. So I want to recognize the people who have donated at the $250 level. Thank you to Terry Adams, Kathleen Holm, Mike. I don't want to pronounce your last name because I don't want to butcher it, but you know who you are. Ted and Sue Warner, and also Eric Goodman and Amanda Hume. Thank you so much, Emily. You just convinced me to donate $250 because I get the child care tax credit and it's only $80 out of my pocket. So count me in. I know you don't have my credit card, Travis or Amelia, but you will, because I'm going to make this donation so the kids have great teen nights. With that, let's go to the $100 level. And some might think, what can $100 do? You know what? I'm guessing a lot, Terry, for school year memberships. And what does a membership consist of?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Eric, one of the things we are most proud of is that we can implement a lot of the programs we've showcased tonight to all of our kids for an annual membership fee of $10 for the entire school year. So think about that. A $100 gift tonight would actually support and/or scholarship 10 kids for their entire school year. That's very, very powerful. And it's an opportunity that kids may have that might not be able to otherwise.
Well, all of your donations tonight for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County, greatly appreciated. If you didn't have a chance to donate in the last 15 minutes, the paddle raise, the donations will continue and will stay open until 7:30. And we hope you will find a way to chip something in. In the meantime, we raised a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. Give yourself a huge round of applause. With that, let's start our live auction. And our first one is dinner for two for a year. You're going to have dinner for two once a month, so 12 times. Dinner for two once a month for a year at either Coyotes or Palominos. This is great Mexican food, made from scratch menu. You can go to either location, and both of these restaurants widely known as two of the best authentic Mexican restaurants in northern Colorado. So if you love something like mango fish tacos, 24-hour chili lime marinated skirt steak, or something else that's authentic Mexican food, now you have a chance to have it every month for a year. Want to thank Richard and Brenda Lucio for their generous donation. And right now we are going to start this off at $450. Nina Duran Gutierrez, she has the bid of $450. And if you would like it, then we're going to ask you to bid $550. So we're going to raise it by $100. But right now, Nina's going to get this for $450. Who would like it for $550? Terry, you've been to both of these restaurants. What are some of the things that you love on the menu?
Oh my gosh, I got to give a big shout out to the cheesy chicken enchilada. One of my favorites. And what a great setting both of these restaurants are at a time when when people are really anxious to get out and be together in small groups. Dinner for two every month is an incredible opportunity. And of course, we can't forget the supplementation of a classic margarita to go with every one of those meals.
Are you a salt guy? No salt guy?
No salt, no salt.
You know what? I agree with you. I don't need any extra type of condiments to make my margarita great. You know, you can hold on the spices, the tequila, and what it's mixed with do just fine by itself. I don't need anything else. So you and I are very much on the same team. So we're going to go there and you're going to buy. How does that sound?
I'm in. I'll buy you a dinner at the Coyotes any day. And especially the margaritas, making us all thirsty just talking about it.
You know what? You take me to Coyotes, I'll take you to Palomino's. Deal?
Deal. You're on.
That's a deal. Okay, let's move on to our next live auction item, and we're still at $450 for that great dinner package. Next up, a 3-night vacation for up to 6 guests at the Hotel del Coronado Village. It's a great family vacation for friends or for families. This is a luxury beachfront vacation at the Hotel del Coronado Beach Village on beautiful Coronado Island off the coast of San Diego. You're going to stay in a modern beach cottage with 3 master suites, a dining room, living room, full gourmet kitchen, and you're going to have access to a personal concierge and an optional private chef for no additional cost. You're going to be right on the beach. You can enjoy water sports. There are pools right on the premises. And here's the deal when it comes to booking this trip. You can book any time from the first of the year until Memorial Day, and then any time after Labor Day. Don't want to make it too complicated. You can't go there during the summer, but you can go any other time other than that. And honestly, if I'm going to go to San Diego, I'm not going to go there when it's, excuse the pun, blazing hot with all the fires out there. But the weather is hot down there, even if there are no fires. I want to go at a time where the weather isn't as warm in Denver and the weather is better down there. With that, you can also book, and this is important, this year, which you're not going to, next year or 2022. So that's a real positive. This is something that you don't have to do right away. With that, we're going to start this off at $5,000. Andrew Roach has that bid in at $5,000. Who would like it at $5,250, $5,250. And Terry, not only have you been to Palomino's, not only have you been to Coyotes, you have been to Hotel del Coronado Beach Village as well. Was all of these items you had to go?
It wasn't a requirement, but I've been very fortunate to have visited this property twice as the guest of a close friend of ours. And what an incredible travel experience. The amenities at this property are top of the line, and you'll feel special as a guest there. As well, San Diego's an incredible town. San Diego's an incredible climate. Old Town San Diego is really cool experience. The USS Midway Museum, Airship Museum is there, and it's just an incredible place to visit. So I'm jealous for whoever's going to win this item because they're going to have an incredible experience.
It's funny when we do live auction items, you hear the word restrictions and you're like, oh, geez, there are going to be restrictions. Honestly, these restrictions work perfectly because who wants to go to San Diego in June? You want to go in
Absolutely
November,
right.
February.
Yeah, I'd take January, February, March. Again, that climate's incredible. So it's really can't go wrong with the opportunities available here.
Okay, so right now at $5,000, Andrew Roach is in the lead. If you would like it, you need to bid another $250 on top of that. So we will be selling this unless somebody else comes in, and then somebody else comes in. We're going to be doing this at $5,250. Let's go to our final live auction item. It is a fantastic Rockies package for opening day next year and a special treat that is being built across the street.
Check swing roller. Tulowitzki has it, throws to first. Ball game. World Series time in Colorado.
Okay, so you and a guest will have a pre-game reception that includes a light lunch, 2 infield box seats for opening day for next season. You're also going to get a one-night stay at the hotel in the brand new McGregor Square. Yep, across the street from Coors Field, so you can beat the traffic and the crowd of the ball game. This is how to celebrate one of the best days in Denver, opening day at Coors Field. Thanks to the Rockies for their generous donation. Terry, you and I both have been to many opening days at Coors Field. They are super crowded. Coors Field has about 50,000 people. Then about 50,000 other people show up because they want to hang out in Lodo. How great is this location across the street where you don't have to really beat the crowds or traffic?
Yeah, you saw the renderings there, and this is going to be an incredible property, McGregor Square. Beautiful hotel, beautiful food and shopping amenities. Again, right across the street from Coors Field. Incredible seats, infield seats. And again, I think this pregame VIP reception is an opportunity that not very many people will have on opening day 2021. Once again, the lucky winners of this item are going to have an incredible experience.
Okay, so right now, Jamie Knopf, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She is in the lead with $900, a $900 bid for this great Rockies package. We are looking for $1,100. We're looking for $1,100 as the next bid up for that Rockies package. Let's go back to the other live auction items. Let's see where they are at. And want to let you know the live auction will be open for another half hour if you would like to continue to bid on these fantastic live auction items. So far, the great dinner at Coyotes and Palominos, that is still at $450, looking for $550. As for the Hotel del Coronado Beach Village, I believe the last bid we saw was for $5,000. Let's see if it is still sitting there right now. Right now, Charlie and Jenny Shoup have it at $5,250. Thank you so much for that bid. Now let's see if we can get $5,500 for that. Now let's go back and look at the Rockies package. It was at $900. We're looking for $1,100. And once again, don't forget, the live auction will be open until 7:30 tonight. So you still have another roughly 29 minutes to continue to bid. With that, want to bring Terry back for a special tribute.
Thanks, Eric. Now for a very special tribute. Our annual Champion of Youth Award is presented to an individual, a corporate partner, or a team of people that single-handedly impacts our success. Look at this list. What an incredible group of past recipients. Tonight we will add another name to this list as we are very honored to present the 2020 Champion of Youth Award to PDC Energy. I'm not even sure where to start as we showcase the impact PDC Energy has had on the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weld County. For over 14 years, PDC has been a huge supporter of our club operations. With both financial support and through employee volunteer projects, PDC has without question left a lasting impact on the work we do. We are very fortunate to have multiple corporate partners that time and time again step up to help us meet our mission. But our relationship with PDC is special. Over the years, as we developed new programs and looked for ways to get creative and innovative, PDC has always been first in line, saying we want to be a part of that. So we are able to do what we do because of companies like PDC Energy, and it is my distinct honor to recognize the entire PDC family for all they have done for kids in Weld County. Our 2020 Champion of Youth Award going this year to PDC Energy and Scott Reasoner, their Chief Operating Officer. Congratulations, Scott.
PDC and the Boys and Girls Club have been partners for over 14 years, and we continue to appreciate the work they do to help young people achieve their potential there.
One of the most rewarding parts of my job is working with local nonprofits like the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County. I love calling up the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County to see what projects they have, and our employees are always eager to find volunteer opportunities and give back to the club.
I appreciated the opportunity to walk through the facility and see the positive energy and the smiles on these young people's faces. The staff does a tremendous job at keeping them engaged. They continue to make a difference in these young people's lives. This is the type of organization that PDC wants to be engaged with and we continue to be a partner with. On behalf of PDC Energy and all of our teammates, we want to thank the Boys and Girls Club of Weld County for naming us the Champion of the Youth for 2020. It's truly an honor to be a part of the organization.
Congratulations, PDC Energy. Here's another reminder, live auction that will end tonight around 7:30 at 7:05. So we have about another 25 minutes, and the silent auction will end at midnight tonight. If you want any items, you will receive an email with instructions on how to pick up or on delivery. And if there's anyone who wanted to participate but couldn't make it tonight, don't worry. The paddle raise and donations will be open next week, and a recording of this video will be made available to you on Monday, and we certainly hope that you will share it. Thank you for all that you do for Weld County. Thank you, Boys and Girls Club of Weld County, for all that you do for our community. Good night, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in person, hopefully in person, next year on April 17th. Have a great evening.